this with your laboratory colleagues. Other than the labs, you can see grade 3 and 4 toxicities for fatigue, pruritus, rash, whatever. They are very low, extremely low, grade 3 and 4. And we have a time-dependent evolution of these side effects. Of course, like any protein, you can expect immediately the hypersensitivity reaction. The skin eruptions will happen earlier. And then from 6 to 12 weeks, you have to see what's happening in the pulmonary toxicity, liver toxicity, and diarrhea. Then later on, it is the hypothyroidism. You have to take care of that. And very rarely, you may see renal toxicity, acute glomerulonephritis. This happens in less than 1%. Who makes the benefit? The role of biomarkers. PD-L1 positivity in this particular trial have been seen in something like 20 to 25%. The response rate in these patients was a little bit higher compared to PD-L negative. In PD-L1 negative, it was 19%. In PD-L1 positive, it was 26%. The difference is not very clear. We have a big amount of research targeting the biomarkers. We can discuss this later if you wish. But for me, it's very important to differentiate between the gain we had with sorafenib and other TKIs versus immune therapy. You can see the response rate in the first line with sorafenib between 2 to 3%. It is 20 with nivolumab. Overall survival less than 1 year. It is 2 years plus with nivolumab. The grade 3 and 4 toxicity, it is 50% with sorafenib. It is 29% with nivolumab. The majority are laboratory. Quality of life is impaired with sorafenib. Quality of life is stable with nivo. The biomarkers, they are not identified with sorafenib. They are in process, in development with nivolumab, but we don't have anything to write home about at the present time. Combinations, this is very important, failed with sorafenib. Our group in Egypt, we failed to show, like other group, that the combo is better than sorafenib single agent, while it is potentially feasible with nivo. In the second line, we have similar data in favor of nivo compared to regorafenib. So, in my opinion, the future will not be nivo alone. It will be nivo or anti-PD-1 plus other things. For me, the local regional therapies is the most important and the most actually attractive one, with STACE, with the TER, with stereotactic body radiation and other stuff. We have plenty of ongoing studies. You can see either with stereotactic body radiation or with selective internal radiation therapy or with STACE, with either nivo or with pembro or other drugs. We have a long list of ongoing trials in this direction. The final take-home message is very simple. Immunotherapy is coming to stay for liver cancer. This will be the future of liver cancer treatment. We're looking forward for phase 3. Certainly, areas of active investigation should include combination, especially with STACE, with TER, with stereotactic body radiation, and with other drugs as well. Still, the challenges, like in any areas of immunotherapy, the biomarkers development should be very clear. We can discuss this later. And for me, the data of nivo is unprecedented, and not for me again, that the FDA could see that again, and that's why we have the approval coming in September. And for me, that's my last take-home message. This patient, we did not have a treatment for this patient. 59 years, treated by TACE several times, presented to our group in October, the 1st of October, progressive course of hypochondrial heaviness, fatigue, performance status of 2, the child score of B9, and alpha-fetoprotein sky high, and he's asking for treatment. We discussed with him that we don't have data for nivo. We have data for nivo for B7. It can be given, but we don't have for B9. And the patient, he accepted to be treated with this drug. And here we are. We started like this. Importantly, performance status improved from 2 to 0 after the third infusion. The child score improved from 9 to 7 to 6. last month, and alpha-52 protein is now 23 versus 1,200. And look at the last PET scan, which I received 2 days ago. We have complete remission by the PET scan, and I'm happy. I think this is a good news for everybody that we are in a much better situation at the present time. And of course, my final take-home message for Bristol Myers this time, please, we need an access program for liver cancer patients in Egypt. Thank you so much. Now we have time like 90 seconds for questions. Yes, Dr. Sameh, please. May we have a microphone here? Guys, we have 3 minutes now. Thank you. This is my team. May I have the projector, please? Give me the last slide, please. My team. Okay. My team who showed me the treatment of this patient.
The immunological basis of HCC is very important and is avid. As you know, we used previously the Biscam Fraxini and we obtained some
absolutely
complete remissions.
Yep.
And also the theory of the relation between direct antiviral and the evolving HCC, as was reported by the first Spanish team that conclude that now there is proof, there is many papers prove that the direct antiviral depress PD-1 and PD-L1.
Yep.
This is proved.
Yep.
And this demonstrates what is a very important role of immunotherapy in HCC. Of course, these drugs are more active than Biscam Fraxini, but also HCC is not a single disease, and you know there is many targets, but the combination, the combo will be very important.
Absolutely, but for me, because of the importance of HCV in our country, and because of the immunosuppressive effect of HCV on the T cells and the immunosuppressive effect of anti-HCV, and both they involve PD-L1, PD-1 interaction. That's why the treatment may be more relevant among Egyptian patients. That's why I'm asking for an access program. Yes, Dr. Ahmed, please.
For usual nice presentation. My question is, I think it is so difficult to get a recommendation from one trial or personal communication or personal experience. So I think you should stress that now there is a hope for treatment of hepatocellular carcinoma. But do you think that it is now the door is open for using immunotherapy in treatment of Egyptian, I'm stressed about this point, Egyptian hepatocellular carcinoma patient?
Okay, so that's a very good question, and the only difference between my conclusion and Dr. Ahmed's suggestion, I said immune therapy is coming to stay, and he wishes to be more conservative and say immunotherapy is a promising treatment. And of course, I do not disagree with him, but why it is coming to stay? Because the TKIs, we have seen more than 10 phase 3 trials, and phase 2 trials randomized, including our own data set from Egypt, to tell us that sorafenib is the only drug that could really stood the test of time, while the other drugs, they all failed either to improve survival, or if they provide the same survival, they failed to improve over the toxicity profile. The combos did the same. So